Hey guys, Peter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to talk to you guys about Bloody Hammer's brand new album, The Summoning, out June 28th on Napalm Records. The album has 10 tracks, 43 minutes in length, and this is the duo's 5th full-length studio album. This album is the soundtrack to classic thriller horror movies. That is the backdrop behind the record. That is the spinal cord that brings this whole record together and keeps it together, because every track on this album pulls from a different influence, and the music is really the soundtrack to the story and the lyrics. So this album is very fluid, is very dynamic. Every song is different. Every song has different characteristics, has different influences, has different sound, has different approach. So you have an album that has 10 tracks, and all 10 tracks sound like 10 separate singles. But that backdrop, that thriller horror movie soundtrack score backdrop, that is really the glue that holds this whole record together. Really influenced by horror thriller movies, this record is. So you get that as the backdrop, and that is really the spinal cord of the album and the glue that holds it all together. Sound-wise, this album offers a blend, I would say, of doom, goth, and hard rock. To me, these are the three main components that you're going to get in this record. Perhaps goth and hard rock at the forefront, but there's a lot of doom in there, specifically from the mood, the atmosphere that some of the tracks have, even some of the topics. I really felt that those three genres are the ones that pretty much dictate where this record goes sound-wise. I also have to talk about the keyboards and the orchestration, because the keyboards and orchestration really add atmosphere. They add a variety of elements. They add almost a gloss, glamour vibe, sometimes even psychedelic to the tracks. So to me, this was extremely important, because these songs have a very uniqueness to it. And having a keyboard or orchestrations that are there to do more than just give the songs melody is extremely important, because Anders Manga's vocals, they're absolutely phenomenal, but they need something to really enhance the pain and the suffering, the melancholy that comes from his delivery. And to me, the keyboards and the overall orchestration on the record does that. They really set the mood, they set the atmosphere, they give the songs life, they bring the songs to life, they give shape to the songs. The songs become more than just audio, and you can almost feel them, you can almost touch them. It just gives life to the tracks, and I really like that. This is an album that really transcends sound, and you really need those orchestrations and that keyboard to really give the songs a little bit of a push, a little bit of a feel, a little bit of a cinematic vibe, because this album is all about cinema. So you need that cinematic vibe to come across in the tracks, and they do that with the keyboards and the orchestration. And like I said, they're not in the forefront, they're not the driving force, they're there to just really paint a picture. They're there just to create a mood, just to create an atmosphere. Now, the result of that is an album that's very dark and captivating at the same time. I really felt that this album offers a wide variety of sound, while the experience is just one. Very unique way to approach a record. But overall, as you listen to this album, you feel like it's drenched in melancholy. It's just dark. There is just a darkness to it. And in that darkness, it really captivates you. It really brings you in. Almost like when you're watching a thriller or horror movie and there's that sound in the basement, and you know there's something nefarious going on, but you're still captivated enough that you go there and you look. This album has that same approach, has that same vibe, that same atmosphere. I already mentioned Anders Manga and his vocals. I have to mention it again, because to me, it's one of the highlights of this record. His delivery is on point on every single track. I like what he does. He ever so slightly changes his approach, his delivery, his tone, to just really better fit the mood of the songs, to better tell the story, and to really enhance the storytelling. So when you combine the keyboards, the orchestration, and his vocals together, those three elements really paint a vivid picture with every single track. You cannot take one away. These three really work together in unison, if you will, throughout the whole album, to just really paint a vivid picture on every single track. So I have to mention his vocals, because I absolutely fell in love with his vocals on this record. Absolutely on point, every single track. Now, as far as favorite songs are concerned, this was not easy, because honestly, I really enjoyed this whole album front to back, back to front, so it was really hard to pick three. Maybe hard to pick two, because one of them to me was a no-brainer, and that's Let Sleeping Corpses Lie. That's the first song on the record, that's the opening track, and let me tell you guys, this is my favorite song on the album. I cannot get enough of this song. It's so haunting, it's so dark, and at the same time so beautiful and melodic. I absolutely love this song. I cannot get enough of this song, and to me this was the easiest track to pick to talk about, because to me this was a standout track on the record. One of many, but one standout track on the record. It's the opening track, like I said. It's really captivating. It has a captivating riff. It has a dark atmosphere to this track. This track has a very dark feel, very dark blanket that really covers it from beginning to the end. The vocals on this track are absolutely haunting. He really changes his delivery ever so slightly to really add a little bit, an extra level of hauntingness to the track, and I love that. It just really allows you to become mesmerized by the track. You're really taken back by the overall sound of the track. I just love what he did with his vocals on this song. The song has an overall great melody. It has a great orchestration, and that melody and orchestration really blankets the overall song, giving it its darkness and pain. You almost can feel the pain with every single note and with every single line of the song being sung. I absolutely love this track. I cannot get enough of it. Next on the list is The Beast Is Coming Out. This is a much different track, much slower, not as heavy, with different tempos, with a different approach. A lot more keyboard and orchestration in this song versus the other. In this song, the keyboards and orchestrations really take a full-on symphonic element, if you will, and they just really become the life of the song. The song is very hypnotic. It's, I wouldn't say psychedelic, but it's very hypnotic. It has some of those qualities to it, and most of them are coming from the keyboards. The keyboards on this song are without a doubt hypnotic in sound. They almost put you into a trance. But like I said, it's a slower track. It has some doom elements to it as well. But the keyboard is really the driving force behind this song. It almost reminded me of I said this earlier, this song, more than any other, it really reminded me of a soundtrack to Poltergeist or Omen. Those keyboard melodies that you get in those kind of horror thriller movies that just really captivate you and that just give you this feeling of being uneasy, like something evil is around the corner. You totally get that from the keyboards in this song. It has this weird scent because the keyboards at some points feel a lot more psychedelic, and at some points they feel a lot more hypnotic. But these two elements really are there throughout the whole track, and I really like it. It also has, when you put those elements together with the vocals and the way the song has a much slower approach in the verses than it does in the chorus melody picks up a little bit. The song in tempo doesn't pick up, but the melody does pick up in the chorus a little bit, and that to me gave the song a very sinister, almost creepy mood, because the song just really has two speeds, the verses and the chorus. It just really changes between those two. The melodies change between those two. The approaches change. The elements that come in for melody, the elements that come in from atmosphere change from one to the other. So that change, when that change happens, it really gives you a very sinister vibe, a very creepy vibe. Last but not least, Welcome to Darkness. This song is almost tied with Let Sleeping Corpses Lie as my two favorites. I absolutely love Welcome to Darkness. A song that, in my opinion, at its spinal cord, it has a more of a goth hard rock vibe to it. I love how the guitars sound on the overall track. I just fell in love with the guitar riff on this song. I like what it does. I like the darkness that it gives to the song. It's perhaps more noticeable towards the chorus than it is in the verses, but overall that melody is there, and that melody is very important. It has a dark aspect to it. The chorus to me in this song is the lifeline of the track. It adds life, it adds energy, it adds dynamic to the track. It just really gives the song a push forward. I like what they did in the chorus as well with the vocals. They layered vocals there. There's multiple layers to the vocals there. There's a haunting melody in the background, almost sounding like a choir, like a humming. Absolutely haunting. It really gives you shivers. It gives you shivers down your spine when you listen to this song. That melody is so haunting, and it just overpowers the whole song. Then 2/3 into the track, you get a keyboard that has almost a misty fog feel to it, to its sound. I really like that as well, because that gives a different life at that point in time in the song. It just changes the dynamic of that track and just moves it towards a different direction. It's almost like a blanket of mist is overtaking the whole track. That keyboard has that that capability to it. It creates this melody that sounds like a fog that just overtakes the overall mood of the track. And when you think the song perhaps is dwindling towards the end, because this overall feel of emptiness, of darkness taking over through this mist, through this misting sounding keyboard melody, the chorus comes back in again, and the song finishes off strong with the chorus. I really like that. I really like that what they did there is very cinematic in structure. This song is very well put together, and it has a very cinematic structure, because it's almost like a cliffhanger. You feel like there's this mist, you feel like there's this overall blanket that's coming over the track that perhaps is going to be the end of the song. And then when the chorus comes in and brings life right back into the track, it has a very cinematic approach to the song structure. I really like it. All right, guys, this is it. This is Bloody Hammers, The Summoning, out June 28th on Napalm Records. I absolutely fell in love with this record. This is normally not the style of music, of metal that I listen to, but they won me over with this record. I really felt connected to the tracks. I really felt like I was listening to a greatest hits of horror movie soundtracks, and that to me is how they won me over. I really liked it, and then obviously all the components that I spoke about. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think of the band? What do you think of this specific album or the singles that have come out? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.